Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the LongBox Paradox, episode 42. Kind of an exciting week where I don't have a Tom King book that I'm talking about, so that's always a bright spot. So, going to start out with what I consider to be one of the best Batman books out right now. I'd like to thank Sean Gordon Murphy for putting out a Batman that basically has balls and is in a therapy session. And we have Batman Curse of the White Knight. Again, Sean Gordon Murphy, his writing has been pretty solid on this. The art, of course, fantastic. And just a great book. Follows up after Wayne Manor has been destroyed by Azrael and his flunkies, I guess you could call them. And Batman is rescued by the GTO, and they now know that he is Bruce Wayne after having to come save him. And him and Barbara have a discussion. He didn't really want to have to be revealed this way, and he talks about the woman Ruth who came to the office trying to blackmail him, and start discussing the Order of St. Dumas. He then goes to pay a visit to Miss Harleen Quinzel and reveals himself to her to get her to try and talk to Joker and get Napier to reveal what's going on. And they go to the office, and Batman then tells Joker that he knows who actually the first Joker was, Lafayette Arkham, and the history, and that he found the body thanks to Jack Napier. And Harleen comes in and starts kind of trying to get to him and get Jack, and Joker basically says, hey, you're having twins, it looks like you are, kind of provoking her, victimhood is her superpower. And then says, well, one of the babies is his, the other is Jack Napier, so he's going to have to abort one. Ask Batman if he has a hanger in his utility belt. We then see, a bunch of the criminals being loaded into armored cars to be taken away. Harley and Batman have a talk. She's kind of intimating that he had a crush on her. And how he got her address one time, and he even knew what her bra size was. And he's, I'm a detective. And they go and investigate where Lafayette Arkham's body was found. And as that's happening, Commissioner Gordon is deciding to step down, and he wants Renee Montoya to take his place. There's a little hijinks involved. And he is outside, and he thinks he's talking to Batman. And it's actually Azrael. And they shake hands. As that's happening, Harley is going into labor down in Arkham, and she's, telling Batman that she wants her drugs. She swears that a pregnant woman will fight Batman if she doesn't get drugs. Azrael is taking on Jim Gordon, and we get a scene that it's actually pretty gruesome. He's on top of a building and he's screaming, "Tell the devil Azrael sent you," and he plunges his burning sword into Jim Gordon, and his acolytes, I guess you'd call them, start shooting the rest of Bullock and a couple of the other cops, and Gordon is kicked over the ledge, bleeding, shoulder on fire, possibly his heart, and into an alley, and we fade to black. Pretty great issue. A lot going on. Pretty good back and forth banter. Murphy does love his cars. The preview black and white pages that they have in the back are for the next issue are kind of fantastic. This is a solid 7.5 for me. Gordon Murphy just continues to grow with this universe he's built. His writing, I continue to think, improves. And again, I love Azrael. Solid read. This is the Batman that I want and like right now. This is a buy, definitely. And I actually probably will buy a trade if they come out with a bigger edition, just so I can kind of adore the art a little bit more. Same thing with Doomsday Clock. If they come out with an absolute edition or a bigger edition, to have those Gary Frank pages blown up and kind of a little bit more detail in them, I'm all over it. From Image Comics, we have Black Science issue 43. The final issue, Rick Remender ties up everything in all these alternate realities. This issue is a bit of a mindfuck because there's different universes, realities of Grant McKay. The issue starts out really fucking grim with him waking up. He leaves a note for his family. He goes into his work area, shed, whatever you want to call it, takes out a lockbox and grabs a gun out of the box, loads it, and then they have the effect of Clume, and his wife wakes up, says Grant, and then it's him walking back in saying, air conditioning, blows the door shut, and he lays back down with her. And then it jumps to a page, and it's like splatter all over. It says, "What have you done?" And then it goes to another reality where him and his wife are running from Kadir and his agents. And as they're running, they go down a tunnel and they crash into a train, I guess. Yeah, it's a high-speed train. It wrecks. Him and his wife live. The car explodes with his kids trapped in it, and we go to, again, Grant fucks up. Grant ruins everything. Grant is a genius who manages to just fuck everything up. And his wife is just completely destroyed. We go to another splatter page where it's blank, and it says, "Wherever are we going?" And this is another universe where it's all happy. It's a surprise party. And it's the family together. And he's being offered, to go work for Kadir and build what will become the device that creates the onion of the universes. And then it goes again to the other universe where it's, we confirm 7 casualties in total. Mr. Aslan, which is Kadir, and Grant and his wife go into the office and confront Kadir, and Sarah shoots him. Grant, having his back and forth. Sarah shoots him again. And then we get another. I come into my office to see Nate and Pia have taken the paint from the garage and just covered everything in sky blue. And then we're back in another universe where Kadir and Grant are kind of at least on friendly terms. And Grant's getting ready to get high, and his dad talks to him, and he brings up this subject of a eucalyptus. They branch immediately from the base, creating multiple paths to grow these gorgeous leaves. Time passes, it withers, the bark sheds, but new fresh baby bark always takes its place. And it grows rapidly, blossoming, expanding in every direction. There's no way to control how it grows. Above the soil, it seems to stand in solitary splendor. Yet each individual tree is part of a vast root system that is together one plant. And Grant's just like, huh. It's as simple as that. His father responds, so long as you let it be. And goes to another blank page with a little bit more paint splatter. And every choice we make is a single quantum event, creating an infinite chain of possible dimensions. And we go further into now. Grant is talking to Sarah, and they're gearing up. And basically they're getting ready to go to other dimensions to find Nate and Pia and basically be a family again and find ones closest to what they are. Like they're looking at one of the quantum screens and there's a Nate and Pia that are aquatic sea people. There's another one where they're geared up in these other like space armor, and they decide they're going to go and they're going to have their family back. And that quantum screen it turns to, and they show the family back together again, and it says everything's going to be okay, and that is the last page of the book. And I guess it has a happy ending, although the way they go about getting to that happy ending is super fucked up. But that is kind of the book in itself. Grant self-sabotaging, screwing everything up. I'm not sure if I'd consider it a satisfying ending, but it's an ending. And it's true to, I feel, Remender's vision of the characters in the books. I think I'm branching towards 6.5 on this out of 10. It was good. I don't know if I was ever going to be satisfied with the ending. It's kind of like Paper Girls, where it's an ending, but I don't know if it satisfied everything I wanted. But I'm just glad that they had an ending and it didn't keep going and kind of never making it keep going on just for the sake of going on. I appreciate the creators knowing when it's time to end. Matteo Scalera on the whole run was solid. It was an interesting book. I recommend going back and just reading all the way through. Hopefully they'll have a giant omnibus of all of it. I don't really see him usually doing that much except for the compendiums. And I would totally be down for a compendium on this. Go out and buy the graphic novels. I feel that's probably your better buy at this point if you are interested in reading this. But 100%, it's a buy and read for me. Collectability, there's I don't feel like there's ever going to be that speculator surge for this title. I just don't think it exists for it. But solid read, and that's what we're here for with comics, is to be entertained and read and sometimes have our thoughts provoked. And a reality that's basically like a multiverse of realities that are like an onion. It's very interesting. Actually insanely interesting. And gonna go on to Marvel Comics and New Mutants War Children. Blast from the past. Chris Claremont, Bill Sienkiewicz together again working on New Mutants. Sienkiewicz has his retro feel from Demon Bear Saga, and even when he introduced Warlock back in the day. This bridges back and forth between there are parts of Sienkiewicz's art in this that are very I feel like more of his new style of art. There's splash pages in here that are just beautiful. Especially there's one of Moonstar and Magic, separate pages and just 100% beautiful. But then there's other pages in this that has the retro feel of Demon Bear, and the layouts and panels the way that we got used to Sienkiewicz doing back then. They really didn't reinvent the wheel here. It's actually kind of going back to the grassroots of the New Mutants. It's the old team. It's a Warlock story where he's afraid of becoming the Magus and being a destroyer, and how he's going to have to face the Magus at some point. Kind of stuff we've seen before, and that was a little disappointing. I was hoping this was going to be kind of a new story, and it is and it isn't at the same time. Again, there's beautiful art by Sienkiewicz in this, but at the same time, I've read this story again in some way, and that's kind of disappointing. but definite art porn here in certain pages. There is a page here where Hela is half Technarch and the other part is regular Hela. They have Magic in her demon form, and it's just one big page of her with the horns and touching the ground. Moonstar in her Valkyrie outfit, well, not outfit, but gear on Brightwind. It's a fascinating, if you look at artistically, it's beautiful. Again, just read-wise, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. I mean, yes, there's that part of me that loved that time in the 80s where, this was going on. But it brought nothing new to it, and I hate that I'm going to do this to this book because I do have fond memories of Sienkiewicz on this book back in the 80s. But again, you didn't bring anything new for me here. It's kind of the same stuff rehashed. I do love that Lockheed and Shadowcat were in this. Kitty Pryde fan for life. I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. It didn't do much for me, and I kind of hate that I had to say that because I do love both of the creators. I just wanted a little bit more out of this, and I was unbelievably hyped for this. I still ordered the Derek Chew variant from Unknown Comics because I like Magic, and that cover was great. I really wanted to review Bloodshot by Tim Seeley and Brett Booth. I was not able to get it. Hopefully I might post a short review on Instagram about it because those are two creators I really like. So I kind of want to see what they're going to do with Bloodshot. Occasionally Valiant has some good titles that capture your imagination. And again, these are two creators I like. So I'm looking forward to that. Sorry that it kind of brought us down at the end with this book. I really wanted more out of it, and I didn't get it. And I guess shame on me for having expectations. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for joining me, taking time out of your day watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and always remember, if you have the high ground, you will always win. Take care.